Hello, Annette. Good morning. Thank you
Good
for
morning, Mark.
coming back. In fact, you were a secret guest on. Um, I didn't even push the name. Geeks on Screens with Coffee. So good morning, Annette.
Good morning, Mark.
You can't
How are
believe
you today?
how long it takes me to do that. It's ridiculous. Um,
Surprised you don't get your children to do it.
they're not interested. It seems like too much effort. Oh, sorry, I didn't do this. Up aboard.
Right?
We need to
Okay.
make sure that the sound and stuff is synced. Makes no difference at all. So, hello, Annette. How are you? And
I,
in the blurry background, I don't know whether people can see it. That's your lovely husband.
Jonathan, otherwise known as Father Jack on Twitter,
Yeah,
who is busily working away.
which he shouldn't be because it's a public holiday. Um,
Yeah, you've known us long enough to know that if there's the word day in the day, then we will be working. Yeah,
so
that's
it's so this is my because it's obviously geeks on screens with coffee. So this is my Sequel Saturday Edinburgh mug, and I should be showing I have my Sequel Bits mugs from every Sequel Bits I've been to, but I didn't show them on camera.
uh, I'm actually not using a geek mug, but Jonathan's got a sequel bits one that he's using at the moment. I made a mistake in what I put my tea in this morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should have changed it to tea. So geeks on screens with tea. Oh, geeks, yes, on. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
It's all right as long as you're a coffee drinker, which I'm not.
Yeah. Well, it's a beverage. It's just it's a bit of a social interaction, a chat. It's just kind of a bit of fun. You know, in the in the fact that we're not getting out very much, or we're not getting out as much as we used to. So, what have you and Jonathan been up to? Actually, I saw something on the Twitter sphere, on the Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Bebo, um, that
Bebo?
that you had dinner with the Sauls.
We did. It's something we've started doing at least a couple of times a week. Um, Catherine, Jonathan's daughter, is one of the people that's on the got to stay inside for 3 months, as is Tracy. So we're trying to help them. Um, and so a couple of times a week, we get up a Skype call or Teams call, and we have dinner together and chat for a few hours. And it's good fun.
All right.
It's it's interacting without actually being it's face to face, but without being in person.
Yes.
So we look forward to it. It's good. It's good fun.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can have dinner with your friends at the moment.
Yeah. I'm gonna what was I'm so hideous with names. So I was talking with Simon last night, and they had some sort of like party thing over Zoom, and that's how it's kind of they did it. They're multiple people, and I've heard of people having Zoom parties.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have friends who our daughters are using Zoom more than we are for their kind of online gym lessons and online dancing lessons. In fact, I was going to say, are you doing PE with Joe Wilkins?
Wix.
Wicks, sorry, Joe Wicks in the morning.
No, we're not because we're working. Jonathan and I are both in this fortunate position that we both work from home anyway. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're bored. We don't know what to do." But our life hasn't changed. I mean, I've been working from home for the last 3 months, 3 years, and the job that I've been doing for the last 6 months, my office space is my home. So nothing's really changed for me. I get up in the morning, I do my job. At lunchtime, we go out and we do our and now obviously it's our one piece of exercise a day and we'll go for a run, a walk or a bike ride. But we're lucky that we've got forestry behind our house. So there's a 3 mile loop we can do from our house back to it. That's all very quiet, very rarely see anyone, fortunately. Do that at lunchtime, carry on working, have tea, watch a film, do whatever, do sequel bits work if we're running up to that. And next day rinse and repeat. So we're really fortunate
Well,
that
It's just
Life
you.
hasn't really changed.
It's just you and the sheep.
Yeah, basically.
Because I was on a call with your husband. We won't use his name. We won't personalise him. He's just an attachment, an accessory to you.
Hardly. It's the other way round.
No, no, no. And kind of all I could hear was just the bleating of sheep in the background.
Well, they're mid-lambing at the moment, and the lambing shed is right behind our bedroom window. So now it's warmer. Bedroom window's open, so all you can hear is the sheep. But yeah, we've got a farm. We live on a farm, and we have a cottage on a farm, and the farmers are still carrying on absolutely flat out. So to all intents and purposes, nothing really has changed here. Everyone's working as normal, carrying on as normal. We're surrounded by sheep as normal. Our kind of roadblock is sheep in the road or cattle in the road. So
Yes, and I mean you're one of the unlucky people that's kind of moving. You were going to move house, or you are planning on moving house, and that's because of the virus, and they've stopped building it.
Yeah, we're buying a new build, and we exchanged contracts 2 weeks before the lockdown, and now building on the house has stopped. So they have finished building the outside the house. It's ready. That part of it is done, but they're doing the internals now. Some of the trades can work because they work on their own, but they can't get any of the supplies they need to carry on because they've obviously all gone to more needy people, the NHS or what have you.
And that's just something that I didn't really think about,
no,
this other stuff.
Nor us. But we understand that mortgage offers have been extended and things. So as far as we're concerned, we're just carrying on getting the house sorted out because we're slightly downsizing. So we've got to declutter because I'm very good at hoarding. We make sure that we're ready to go as soon as they say we can. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about it or stress about it. And I'm actually quite glad that work has stopped because they might be saying, we're ready for you to complete, and we wouldn't be able to because we wouldn't have any means of moving anything or anything else. So it's just carrying on and waiting for this to hopefully pass.
Yeah. Well, it will pass.
It will, yeah.
And as Mark Commode says, everything will be all right in the end. Well, it's not. He says that. It's a quote from someone else. And if it's not all right, it's not the end.
No, that's it.
Yeah. So it'll be fine. But most importantly, what's your favourite cheese?
The most mature cheddar you can get. There's a local creamery around here called Davidstow, and it's actually really close to a place where I go show jumping course building regularly. Davidstow cheddar, they're vintage, extra mature, and it's actually called Davidstow Crackler. And it's so mature that it crumbles.
Can you buy that in supermarkets? I'm sure I've seen David. That rings a bell.
You would have done, yeah, but it's local to us, so.
Oh, okay.
Davidstow, yeah. So really, really, really strong cheddar is my cheese of choice.
All right. It's obviously it was Mickey Robson that suggested we ask that question, and it's surprisingly what good answers you get.
What's the most random one then?
No, what did Ian pick? I can't. Ian was like 2 or 3 days ago. I mean, I've only done 3. This is the 3rd. Well, this is 3.5 because you came on and helped me set up the first time I did this. We didn't broadcast. You just helped me set up some of the technical stuff, and and so that was really useful. Apart from your husband in the background going, "I'm hungry. When is it going to finish?"
That's part of the course.
All right, so we're going to go in for an emergency question now. So pick a number between 1 and 1001. And sorry, did you see? Oh, look how bad. I don't. You can't see it. Can you? No, because we're on different cameras. The background goes really horrible because I do this. I get a shadow. Sorry. So got to give Richard Herring, props for his book, and we're using it. I did buy it. I just want people to know I didn't steal it like he does with Pick and Mix. I did actually purchase it, but I did purchase it for £3 in the works. I didn't pay full price.
Hopefully. Okay, 969.
Okay, we haven't had that one yet. 9. Ooh. What was the last thing you lamented?
Gosh. Can we say 968 instead? I can't think. The fact that I can't ride my road bike at the moment because it's in warranty and the gears have broken and the brakes don't work, even though it's less than a year old.
Can you fix it, or do you know how to fix it?
No, it's got to go back to the people we bought it from, and I can't move it at the moment. So I'm having to put up with mountain biking all the time, which is okay because I wouldn't want to cycle too far on the roads anyway, because I wouldn't want to go and do anything that could risk getting hurt and putting more pressure on the NHS currently.
What was that, 968 you said?
Yeah.
Well, you can have this one as well.
Oh, thanks.
Do you lie to your dentist about how often you brush your teeth?
No, because I don't go to the dentist.
Or doctor about how much you drink?
Don't need to because I don't drink very often anyway, due to the fact that I cannot handle my drink, so there's no point. I like the odd glass of wine, but yeah, no, I don't. I don't need to lie to the doctor because, and as I say, I haven't been to the...
Oh no! The internet's broken. I'm not sure which end it's broken at. Annette has frozen. Sorry. You've run out of internet.
I can hear you and see you.
Oh, you froze. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
You were talking about how much you drink all the time, how many units, constantly.
I don't drink. And in fact, I've got no drink in the house at the moment, which is a bit of a disaster.
So, can I... I've got something special for you. I want to try out on you. So actually, I was going to tweet this morning. So this goes back to a question, an emergency question, which was, have you been involved in a Twitter storm? So I was going to send you a tweet to say I was preparing the studio for you. And then I was going to put studio/office/preparing the bedroom for Annette Allen. And then it would that would just appear wrong, wouldn't it?
Very, very wrong. My husband might get upset. The fact that you're in Norfolk and I'm in Devon is possibly okay, though.
And he can see you if he turns his head.
Yes, which he's not because he's studiously working.
Come on, I was hoping I could see a pink blur as he turns his head.
He's not. He's got noise cancelling headphones on and he's concentrating.
Is he not watching
VS
this?
Code.
I mean, is he not watching this and this? No, this.
Don't know.
Over here.
Maybe. Don't know.
Right. So you put up a thing on the Twitter sphere the other day that you wanted people to dress up in their SQLBits costumes.
Yes.
And normally I go big on the SQLBits costume, but unfortunately I was hiring because something decent this year rather than buying something cheap or making something. But I did buy one thing, but I just thought it just didn't seem right that to have that one thing, because you would get that look.
I'm trying to work out who it is.
Well, it's actually quite hard to work out who it is because the eyes are taken out. It's a Hugh Jackman mask.
Oh yes, it is. Of course it is.
And if I just wore this but nothing else in the photo, it wouldn't be.
That would look really bad. I wouldn't take a photo of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hence the reason for not doing it, and just taking a photo of a picture with this. You know, it looks like I'm trying to be in Point Break or something, and I'm one of the ex-presidents.
We were just trying to bring some cheer to the week because we were all missing SQLBits. Luckily, Redgate did an amazing job with their online event and the pub quiz. And that was absolutely brilliant. For them to pull that together in this time they did was fantastic. So we were just trying to get the Friday night party feel in on the Friday. And we did send a prize to Mikey Robson in his Red Dwarf costume.
What did he get?
What did he win?
Yeah.
And
don't mind me. Don't mind me.
I'm not. Is that an orange though? It's a good job we're not in the same room.
Grapefruit.
Oh, grapefruit's okay. I'm allergic to oranges. I'm really weird.
Everybody eats their fruit from a can. It's not.
No, they don't.
This is not so. This no.
No.
Things have gone quite tough in the last few weeks.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on. So
yeah, we were just trying to. We didn't have as many entries as we were hoping for, but we had a prize left over from Data in Devon, so we were going to post that out just as a bit of a thing. And in the end, I just sent one direct from an online store because it was easier than going to the post office and risking seeing people. So yeah, Mikey won. Rob was second. It was a close run thing. Rob Saul, DBA with beard.
Yes. Oh,
It was just.
I'm trying to get him on, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's avoiding me. I don't know why. Maybe me.
I can't imagine anyone avoiding you, Mark.
Well, I mean, it's kind of normal at the moment.
Fair enough.
All right, Annette Allen, you are an MVP.
I am.
Actually, I should have checked before the call. You still are an MVP, aren't you? Because otherwise,
Find out. I became one on the 1st of September last year, and we'll find out whether I'm still an MVP on the 1st of July this year.
All right, so technically you still are. Good. Okay, all right.
Technically, I still am, yeah.
I've done this MVP quiz, so I thought I would just ask you some quickfire questions. Don't need to think about it too much. What does MVP stand for?
Most valued professional.
Are you sure?
Most valuable professional?
Well, I can't believe I broke you so soon. Okay. Is it true that you've got Bill Gates' phone number?
No.
Is there a secret handshake?
Not as far as I know, but then I haven't been an MVP for very long.
All right. Who's the tallest MVP?
Alex Whittles or Gianluca Sartori, I would have thought.
I've got
certainly not me.
I can only take one answer. One. It's got to be one or the
other. I don't know who's taller.
All right.
Go, Alex.
If all the MVPs were on a desert island. Sorry, that's just me thinking out loud. Could you sneak me into the next MVP summit?
No.
Not even if you tried?
No. I mean, it's also very disappointingly, obviously, I don't know whether I'm going to be going because I don't know if I'm still going to be an MVP next year. But all Microsoft events are online until July 2021. So next year's MVP Summit will be online again, which is what they did this year. So I've got to stay an MVP for 3 years for me to actually get to go to it in person.
Well, that was something that is kind of the future of kind of in-person. I mean, obviously, the future of working, I think, is going to change as people go, well, actually, people can work from home, people can do a lot. And then obviously the future of kind of in-person events, is that going to change? Or are we...
I don't think so. I think working from home will get more and more important and normal. And we'll talk about that in a minute, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I'm really key on. But you miss the networking. And I think you get as much out of a conference from talking to people than you do listening to sessions. I mean, you learn loads and that's great and all the rest of it. But to be honest, it's like with SQLBits, because I'm one of the organisers, I haven't actually attended a session at SQLBits for years. You know, I dip in, stand in the back. If it's something I'm interested in, I'll stand in the back and listen, and I'll watch some of the videos afterwards. But I have learned so much just by talking to people. You know, equally, you find out who the experts are. So when you have a problem, you can contact them. This week, I had an issue. I was on call for the first time in my new job. Got called out 3:30 in the morning with an issue I had never seen before. And we managed to get everything back through the hardware going down. The hardware came back, everything came back together. It was all fine, thank God. But I watched some videos over the issues the next day, and it was a video that Kendra Little did. And I contacted her, and I wasn't worried about contacting her because I've chatted to her and I know her. And I asked her a few questions. She confirmed the information I was looking for, carried on, and I could do what I needed to do. And if it hadn't been for the events that I go to and the people I meet, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that or been able to do that. So I think that whilst the learning is still great online, I think events, you still get as much out of an event by the networking as you do from anything else. And I think we'd really miss that if all events turn online. I don't think SQLBits, from my opinion, I don't think SQLBits will ever go online only. But we publish everything anyway, so we already are.
Yeah, I mean, you are one of the pretty much the only event, especially up to that point, and obviously stuff may change in the future, that would actually publish all the videos, all the content up online. So even if you couldn't make it, you could go. Well, you know, I used to use it. I'd go, and then I would, because you'd forget, because you'd see so many sessions, and then you could watch it back online later, and you go, oh, I forgot that point, or oh, there was something mentioned. And you know, other conferences, we won't mention their names, you have to pay for the videos. Or, you know, or even some online ones where you have to pay to go. But I think a lot of people are going free, and you know, the tech has moved on significantly in the fact that kind of we can sit here and we can broadcast on an old, like 5-6-year-old laptop.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fan is going, making a lot of noise, but you know, but you know, you can do it as you couldn't, and it wasn't practical before.
No, that's it. But no, I don't think you can do it, and I think it's brilliant. But as I say, I don't think you'll ever take away what you can get from networking. I mean, obviously at Bits we don't video pre-cons because you do have to be there, and it's the intellectual property rights of the speaker. But they sign up to say all their general sessions are recorded and made available. So that's really good.
Yeah, I think having an all-day single person broadcasting out is quite tough because you know you're doing something different. You know, so I think there's a slightly different audience for that. You really want to be there so you can ask questions, watching it back later. Yeah. If you've missed something really important and you're 4 hours in, you know, it's quite tricky.
It's not as good.
No. An online, you know, 45 minutes, 50-minute session works really well.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing that we've obviously been changing. Last year we did it for the first time and it was a success, is bringing our session times down so that we can get more sessions in the day. And I mean, this year, I think we're looking, because we've gone a day longer as well. I think we've got something like 250 sessions with God knows how many speakers. I can't remember the number of that. And I think we've got about 80 helpers lined up to be managed.
A day longer. I mean, a day longer.
When it was first mooted to us, we were like, no. But it was like, oh, okay.
As long as you've got...
I'll tell you whether it was a success when we run on the Sunday.
I think that it would work if you had a foot spa station, so that kind of the people could sit and put their feet in, like, you know, and rest their feet for a bit, especially the helpers who are running around and standing.
I have every intention of wearing my slippers this year because they're the most comfortable thing I can wear on my feet. When you're on your feet for 5 days solid, you need it. And Jonathan keeps saying that we need a massage chair. So we're trying to get that. We probably won't manage it, but that would be really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, could you stretch to a masseuse? You know, and then have a...
Yeah, probably not.
No, all right.
I do like the idea of a foot spa, though. I think that would be nice.
You could get a couple in a, you know, obviously they'd need to be cleaned, so that there would be also...
Yeah, no, it's actually, maybe not.
It's a really bad idea. Yeah.
It's a really bad idea, Mark. Let's change that one.
You used to have those, but I don't think they're around anymore. I don't know if it was a 2000s or a 80s, 90s thing, where they would have those fish that would eat the dead skin off your feet. But then they found there was so much bacteria in the water, they were really unhealthy.
Oh, that's gross.
Oops. Okay. You wanted to talk about working from home?
Yeah, I mean, if I work for a company called Data, and we supply remote database support. So if you've got a company that doesn't have their own DBAs, or one of the things that we cover is holiday and sickness. So basically, if they've got one DBA and don't want to employ two, then we'll pick up when they're off. So for the last 6 months, my job has been working from home, even though prior to that I was working from home quite a lot because I was caring for my mother. But it's kind of really interesting how the dynamic works, because you'd think working from home that you would be isolated, but I found, because we all chat to each other all day, even, there'll be long lulls where no one's communicating because we've all got our head down and working. But if you've got a question, you just ask everybody, has anyone come across this? It's an amazing team and it's really good. And I never feel like I'm on my own. So my previous job, I was in a team and I felt like I was on my own. Whereas now, you're on your own, but actually you are part of this big team that all support each other and all help each other. And everyone knew it was my first time on call this week. And I had so many, everyone was like, if you have a problem, just ring me, I'll help you. So I knew that I wasn't, even if it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't actually going to be on my own. So it's the first time in a very long time I've been really happy in a job and somewhere where I'd hopefully like to stay, even though I've only been here 6 months.
Oh, that's
but
really
equally, we if anyone is struggling with working from home, I'm happy to talk to anyone and go through the kind of things that I've done to make it feel like you're not on your own, and how to break the day up and all that sort of thing.
I think when I started working from home properly, there you go through a certain phase of feeling isolated, and then going a little bit crazy, going kind of like, because you're on there, and I only had people in the US I could talk to. So if I wanted to talk to anyone, I had to wait till like 3 p.m. And so kind of you've got to bottle things up, and then when you do speak to people, it's like, yeah, it's the only person you've spoken to all day. Yeah, apart from obviously speaking to speaking to Hugh Jackman, but he doesn't reply. It's great bouncing ideas off him, but sometimes you want more than Hugh Jackman, which I don't think I've ever said before. But so now I've got some colleagues in this time zone, and we'll just go coffee break, and we'll just do a video call, and we'll just have a little natter, just to break up the week.
Well, it's something, because Jonathan's been working from home for the last 3 weeks, and he changed job, and he was going to be working from home 3 days a week anyway, for having been away 5 days a week for years. And it got to the point where one of us would go and get the drinks and come back, the other one would just stay working. And we suddenly realized that wasn't doing either of us any good. So now we stop in the mid-morning and we go and get a cup of tea together, because it makes sure that we both move around, we communicate, we get our drinks, and we come back to our desk and carry on working. And we sit in the same room, but we barely speak to each other because we're focused on what we're doing. And then we'll break for lunch at the same time. And as I say, we'll go out training, and then we'll do the same mid-afternoon. We will actually both stop, chat for 5 minutes while we get our drinks, stretch our legs, make sure we're not seizing up, because that's what you do in the office. And we suddenly realised that just because we were home didn't mean to say that you didn't do that. Because when you're in an office with someone, it'd be like, oh, come on, let's go and get a great drink. You go off and have a chat, like you're saying. So we've made that part of our routine now, and it works well. It breaks the day up a lot, which is sometimes it's good because you need to give your eyes a break. I mean, the amount of times that you're stuck on a problem and just away from the screen for 5 minutes, you come back, go, I know how to fix that now, and off you go. It's all cool.
Well, you're quite lucky because you've got someone who's there with you, who you can turn around and go and just bounce ideas off. And, he's like your Hugh Jackman.
He is. He's I always say he's my oracle.
Yeah.
So, I am very lucky, but I think we were talking about the dinner chats we have with Rob and Tracy, and we have to be careful because you can see Jonathan's daughter and Tracy, their eyes glazing over when Rob, Jonathan, and I are talking shops. It's like, yeah, we need to change the subject now. So we do have to be careful that we don't talk geek all the time.
Yeah, you talk normal human language as well.
Yeah.
Rather than just geek.
Well, it was quite funny on Monday. Well, it wasn't funny, but Catherine, as I say, is home. And we finished work, went downstairs, and she was like, "Oh, great, I've got a human company again." It's like, we've got to go on a call at 8 o'clock because we have a monthly user group leaders meeting. And she's like, "Oh, for goodness sake, I've been waiting all day to speak to someone, and now you're going off again, and I'm not even going to be able to speak to you." It's like, oops, sorry. So we have to think about that as well.
Yeah, but she's big and old enough to take care of herself. She can put her own Zoom calls in.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. She does. We're going to try and work out how we can explain to Jonathan's mum how to use Google Chat, because we've got her on a Google email account now. So the next thing is to try and get her in a Hangout so we can actually see her when we speak to her. But we haven't worked out how to explain this one yet.
Yeah. My mother-in-law, she's in her 80s, and just getting her to use Skype, and even my parents using Skype or using anything, because unless they're doing it every single day, they forget. So we got Zara's mum an iPhone, so there's like one number in there, which is our number. So she just goes into, she goes into FaceTime, and then she can then call us, and then that's easy. And I got my parents one of the Alexa boxes with a screen, so right. I can just drop in. They don't even need to pick the call up. No, because if someone rings the phone or whatever, they spend like 2 minutes panicking trying to work out which button to press, and so it becomes too difficult. So that's how we got around those. So you mentioned, so we haven't even talked about the fact that you're a user group leader. So obviously the user groups, physical contact, going, running every month. Obviously that's not happening. So
it's something that so I'm UK regional mentor for PASS, and one of the things that they really want us to do is have monthly calls with user group leaders. It's been really timely that they've started this year. So we had a call, as I say, on Monday, and what we're trying to put together, which we'll be hopefully be announcing in the next month or so, is, which will probably be too late by then, a central place where you can link to all the meetups for all the user groups. So you can say, oh, okay, such and such is presenting online at that user group, so I will go and join that one. And we're also trying to work together to make sure that we don't have the same content all the time. So we're really trying to work together to get some UK-wide content that people can go to, but each user group running their own kind of online meetings. So we're working on that, trying to get that put together as quickly as we can. We were going to do it anyway, but this has obviously pushed things forward. But all the user groups are now turning to online. So that's what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable, I think, until this is all over. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, we would hope to all go back to in-person meetings again. But obviously we don't know how long this is going to go on. So that's, as user group leaders, that's what we're trying to do. I stepped in as user group leader for Data Southwest, the Exeter-based user group, when Jonathan went to Microsoft because he was away all the time. Now he's back. I'm going to take a step back. He can go back to leading the group, which is, he set it up, and carry on doing that again. And I'll spend more time being the regional mentor.
And is that, so what does a regional mentor do? And your region is
UK and Ireland.
Right.
It's UK and Ireland currently, but they are looking to get one in Ireland, so then I'll just be UK. But my role basically is to help user groups, user group leaders, or anyone in the community who wants to get involved. It could be that there's no user group in Norwich, so Mark comes to me and says, how do I get started? And I'll help you and put you in touch with speakers and anyone who may be of benefit to you. That is my role. So I'm here I try and step back and let people, not force myself on anyone, but I'm here to help if you need me to. No, don't make faces. So if anyone needs help or advice, I'll do what I can. I'm not saying I'm an expert in everything, but I know where to go to ask. But equally, we're having these monthly meetings, and so far I found them really good, that everyone is working together, and trying to work, across the whole country as a team, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to go virtual and probably to carry that on afterwards, because once you've set up you put the effort in, the infrastructure, the software that's needed, and people get used to it, that's just a separate thing to still having the physical. Because
maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. At the moment, it's just handling the current scenario. I mean, a lot of the meetings were cancelled for March and April, which gives us a bit of time to get everything picked back up again.
Yeah, and you can
so
be a
I
lot
think
more.
all user groups are looking for speakers at the moment who'll present remotely. So if anyone is interested in presenting, then let me know and I'll put you in touch with one of the user group leaders.
Yeah, I mean, there's always people that will present. I was thinking about this. I was chatting with someone else that remote presentations probably work really well for experienced speakers or people that have done a little bit. But if you're new, speaking in front of a group of people is bad enough. Can be quite frightening, and especially if you're not sure about stuff. And doing a remote session is very different to doing an in-person session. You don't get that feedback. You don't get that sort of human eye contact. So I can see it great for certain people.
Yeah, I did a session recently that was recorded as part of the MVP program. I think it is being used at the Azure event that's happening 23rd to 25th of April, the Azure Global Bootcamp that's online.
Tell me about. We'll go back to that, but
I'll find the website. I just have shut down everything. And so they videoed me. It was a 20-minute session that they videoed. And it was really weird because you're just being videoed. And normally with a session, you can see the audience, you can get feedback. Even if it's an online session that's being done live, you're getting questions from the audience. But this was just nothing. You have no idea how any of it is going. So it was all really weird, but it went okay. And apparently, I mean, they obviously liked it because they wanted to use it for various things. So, that was a most weird experience.
Was that the first time you've done that sort of just recorded that straight session?
Like that, yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. I was trying to think. I've recorded other things like this before, but then I'm getting feedback from you. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, if you also recording things. So if you were recording it to then go out at another time, it's also different as well. And I find remote quite difficult because I like that interaction. I like doing things and playing with the audience. So, leaving a little bit of silence in there.
Yeah, that's it.
You didn't need to, but that works really well in a room because it makes everyone feel awkward and it kind of highlights a particular point. But you can't do that on a recording because
no, it's equally. I wanted a drink, and normally that's when I would stop and pause. But no one knows you're actually stopping to take a drink. It's just like.
But when you've got feedback, you can do things like hold up props, and you can start doing stupid things like inappropriately eating and drinking.
Or like me, I'm looking for a website online while I'm talking to you.
Having stuff to hand and stuff you can do is, but you don't know if that's going to come across at all in a recording. And watching yourself back and editing it. So that's one of the reasons for doing these live. By the way, you are live. Just it's all right. Did I forget to tell you that? Is that there's no editing. I did watch some of the last night's one back, and the sound was a bit dodgy. So I probably need to go back and try and sort that out. But I won't cut bits out because that's part of the fun of it. And that's one of the when you watch the SQLBits videos, you have people talking to the audience. You have them moving around. Like, that's one thing I like.
Yeah.
You get to see the presenter, not just a screen.
Yeah, no, that's it, and it's good. But that was the thing when I did my recording, because my internet isn't amazing. They saw me while I did an introduction, and then it was just slides and demo. But it is the Global Azure Virtual 2020 UK and Ireland. It's on the 23rd to 25th of April, and you can find it at Azure Global Bootcamp 2020.
So just go to your favourite browsing search engine, Alta Vista, Ask Jeeves,
anything like that.
Yeah. Whatever works. I'll Google that for you. One of those, and that will take you there. And we'll put that in the. So I did the comments for the little description of the episode. So for Ian's one, I put that up the other night. So I put the link to the Microsoft event site in there.
Right.
But have you got when you are actually getting some online stuff for the user groups, if you want to come back on or send one of the other people on and tell me what the URL is, and we can then talk about it and kind of just let people know when it's happening.
What I'll do is I'll talk to the guy that's putting the site together. Get him. I think it would be good for you to talk to him. So that's Phil Grayson, who's doing all the work.
All right. Okay.
Kudos to him. So he's going to be scraping all the current meetup sites and putting it all in one place and giving us somewhere that we can just go to in one place.
Oh, if only we had something like that.
Have we?
No. Well, they used to be. They
used to be. Tony Rogerson's SQL Server FAQ, and it's gone. But we want something.
Has it actually gone?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
it's very sad. But so yeah, we're putting that site together. But the idea is that we will, as user group leaders, we'll only need to keep our local sites up to date, and this process will scrape them, grab the information into a central place. Because the problem that we always used to have was there were so many places we had to update information.
Yeah.
So we want one place where we can all keep it up to date, and then it just gets consolidated.
Good.
But if I want to know if there's, I'm, when this is all over and I can visit anywhere else, I'm going to Scotland maybe, and I want to see if there's any user groups that I can go to while I'm there. You can go to one place and see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using, checking Meetup or Eventbrite, and kind of they're the places that I would go to now. And then I've missed loads of things because I don't use the Twitters, and that's where kind of stuff normally gets publicised.
Yeah, so we're trying to consolidate. How good a job we'll do is it will be a lot based on how much information we can get in the first place. But as I say, Phil's working on it. So I think it's going to be called dpac.community. So data platform, Azure community, dpac. But we'll confirm that. Well, I'll get you talking to Phil, and he'll confirm the site he set up and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and then I'll rib him and say, look, you need a proper. I mean, that's just an awful name, dpac data one. Pick something else. Yeah.
The thing is, we wanted a cheap one.
Oh, yeah, the truth comes out, doesn't it?
Of course.
It's all about cost.
There's no funding for it. We've got to pay for it ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I've only got one more thing to ask you. Who do you want to nominate? Who's next? Who would you like? In the ice bucket challenge type way, who do you think should come on and talk to me?
I think you should talk to Simon Sabin of SQLBits, so he can explain the process that they had to go through.
I've already asked him, so you have to scrub him off. So you can't nominate him. He's already been done. You got to think of someone else.
Yeah, I better not nominate my husband. He might. I would say for him or Steph Martin. She does huge amount for the community. She's my right hand at SQLBits, looking after helpers.
All right.
And I think she'd be a good one for you to speak to.
All right, I'll ask Steph.
Thank you very much.
Steph Martin or Steph Middleton? She'll
Martin.
always be Middleton to me.
I've got it into my head now that she's Martin.
I haven't got that. Yeah, I'm not used to that. You know, why change your name? You know.
Well, I was desperate to change my name because I hated my maiden name.
It's just something we should talk about. I mean, yeah. Well, I'm tempted
My
to
maiden
ask,
name
but...
is Bean, as in Sean Bean, Mr. Bean. And my entire life until I got married, everyone was, "Where's Mr. Bean then? You're so funny. Ha ha ha." Oh, for God's sake. Bane of my knife.
So you didn't want to become Alan Bean? Or
No.
Bean Allen?
No. That's just pretentious.
Yeah, you are aware of what my name is.
Yeah, but you didn't. Did you become Pryce-Maher because you're a Pryce and a Mayer? Or were you already a Pryce-Maher?
I was a Pryce Jones, and then instead of becoming a Mayor Pryce Jones or a Pryce Jones Mayor, or I would have just changed it to Mayor. We changed it to Pryce-Maher. Mayor
That
Pryce.
sounds good.
Well, you get used to it. But
no, but it sounds good. It sounds like it should be. But
double
Alan
barreled.
Bean is just...
I don't know. Alan Bean? But it sounds like somebody's first name and surname.
Yeah. So no, I don't... It just... No. And anyway, I wanted to get rid of it as soon as I could. The fact that I didn't get married till I was 30-something.
There is a method called deed poll. You could have just changed it any time you liked.
Yeah, can you imagine how offended my father would have been?
Oh, yeah, I guess you have to wait for pretty much all of that side of the family to die, and then you can do it safely, I guess. And that's probably easier just to get married. I mean, it's just, what does that say about your lovely husband? You only married him because he had a good surname.
No, that's not the reason I married him. It was just a bonus.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, of course. That's what you say publicly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, it's the truth.
And on that slur on your husband, I think it's time to let you get back to your working on Good Friday, and I will get back, and I heard the front door go, so I'm going to go and do some stuff downstairs. And thank you for your time. It's been lovely catching up. And if you've got anything you want to share again, just we'll have another quick chat.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for this social interaction, and stay safe. Right.
And you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, don't do what. Right. It's a showbiz thing. We'll say goodbye to each other. I'll stop the feed, and then we'll say goodbye to each other. Don't just drop me in the middle of the call.
Okay.
Like Simon did last night, leaving me on my own. So we'll go, bye everyone, bye Annette, bye.
Bye everyone.
Okay, stop stream. There we go. There we go, stop streaming, stop recording.